If I had to move to Seattle all over again with zero connections, no second chances, and my future depending on it, these are the neighborhoods I'd fight to get into. I've made this move before. I've stared at the screen with 30 tabs open, second guessing every zip code, wasting so much time weeks scrolling the listings that look great online but felt off in real life. It's easy to make the wrong call here, and trust me, the cost isn't just money, it's your time, frustration, lifestyle, and sometimes regret. One of the places I'm going to show you today, it checks all the boxes: water views, walkability, culture, climate, resistant, and almost no one is talking about it. Not the blogs, not the tours, not even the locals that live there. I think they kind of want to keep it to themselves. Because Seattle isn't what it was 5 years ago. Some neighborhoods are evolving in a powerful, creative way. Others are sliding past. And if you don't know where to look, you could lock yourself into the wrong vibe for the next few years of your life. Stick with me because I'm walking through 9 neighborhoods I'd actually move to if I had to start here in Seattle all over again today. And at least one of them will have you asking, wait, why haven't I heard of this before? This could save you months of research, thousands of dollars, in a serious case of buyer's remorse. Now, real quick, if we haven't met, I'm Sheila Duncan, a licensed real estate broker in Washington and Georgia, and I help folks from all over the country relocate, invest, and just figure out if Seattle's really their place. This video is about giving you the shortcut I wish I had when I moved here. It's about finding that one pocket of the city that feels like you, that you belong there, that matches your pace, your priorities, and what kind of life you're building. I've helped families who needed to be near parks and top-rated schools. I've helped creatives who wanted some live music and late-night show. I've guided military families who needed easy access to JBLM without sacrificing community or comfort. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, my goal is to help you skip the guesswork, dodge regret, and land somewhere that actually works for your life. And we're starting in the greenest, the breeziest, the trail-hugging parts of Seattle where fresh air, farmers market, and climate resilient meets modern convenience. Let's start with Seattle's neighborhoods that aren't just surrounded by nature, they live and breathe it. These are the places where mornings smell like rain, fir trees, the weekends revolve around trails and tap pools, and your neighbors have rain barrels instead of ring cameras. Green Lake is where the lifestyle starts. Imagine waking up, grabbing a latte from the coffee shop, walking straight into Lakeside, buzzing with strollers, skaters, that one accordion guy that's always holding it down. The trail circles the lake like a pulse through the neighborhood, which is about 2.8 miles with just nothing but community. Homes here are a mixture of the 1920s charm, ultra-modern solar-ready townhomes. You've got rooftop gardens. You got eco-conscious remodels, block after block, where people still know each other's names. And every Saturday, the parking lot near the community center transforms into a farmer's market where people line up for fresh honey and sourdough before 9. Now, if Green Lake is where you go and feel connected to the land, West Seattle is where you spread out and you settle in. The streets, the ferry homes in the distance, actual parking, the heart of the neighborhood, California Avenue, is dotted with spots like Easy Street Records, an institution, local gyms like Wesley's Bakery. But it's not just charming, it's progressive. West Seattle's been ahead of the stability curve for years. You'll find rain gardens and median zero waste supply aisles at the co-op, locals biking down Alki Beach cleanups before brunch, Plus, the bridge is finally black. And so your commute doesn't feel like a gamble. It feels more like a rhythm. It's easy to overlook Rainier Beach until you see what's happening in the parks and the markets and the soil. This neighborhood is a sleeper pick, but it's got something powerful going on. Just off Clover Street, there are urban farms growing food that served in our local schools. The Rainier Beach Urban Farm and Wetland literally transforms stormwater off into healthy soil. Families gather at the park with the lake view, while the nearby Ethiopian market bursts with music, spices, people who've lived there for decades. It's not perfect, but it's real, and it's growing in ways that really, really matter. And while I have you, if you're listening to this and thinking, wait, one of these neighborhoods actually sounds like me, don't stress about it trying to figure it out alone. I'm Sheila Duncan, a licensed real estate broker here in Washington and Georgia. My real estate team and I help people every single day to find the Seattle neighborhood that actually feels like home. No pressure, no sales pitch, just guidance from people who actually live here and get it. All of my information and my team's information is in the description whenever you're ready. In 2026, as more people rethink where and how they want to live, these neighborhoods aren't just trending, they're quietly setting the standard for what smart, sustainability, city living actually looks like. These are the neighborhoods that don't just check a box, they shape your routine. Nature's not something you visit on the weekend, it's your work. Your break between meetings, your kids' science class in the wetlands, and all is grounded in real long-term stability and not just buzzwords. But maybe that's not quite your rhythm. Maybe what makes you feel alive is energy, culture, the hum of creative chaos, where the smell of the street food hits you before the music even starts. Not everyone's looking for quiet mornings, backyard gardens. Some of you want motion, streets that hum, places that surprise you, where a random Tuesday can feel like something's about to happen. If that's your speed, Seattle's culture core is shifting, and it's happening in ways that most relocation guides completely miss. You start to feel it just east of downtown, where the air thickens with espresso and old neon. One minute you're passing mural-covered apartment buildings with rooftop gardens. Next, you're stepping into a bookstore where the cats are named after author, and there's a pop-up zine fest happening right in the back. That's Capitol Hill. The nightlife here gets all of the attention. Shows at Nemo's, late night slices at Hot Mama's, cocktail at a bar that used to be someone's garage. During the day, this neighborhood is deeply alive. Solar-powered co-working spaces sit next to decade-old barbershop. There's an old punk venue 2 blocks from a zero-energy apartment building. It's contradiction after contradiction, but somehow it works. You don't just live in Capitol Hill, you orbit it. It's pulled into your gravity. Further south, the same creative energy takes a different tone. You feel it along Rainier Avenue, where the smell of jerk chicken and roasted coffee beans hang in the air, and a block party might just break out in the middle of the week. This is Columbia City, where a jazz trio plays outside Columbia City Theater, while a family-run bakery serves Java pastries across the street. This is very cultural. Neighbors organize festivals, protect rent control housing, fund local art projects with bake sales and grit. The new bills don't erase the old, at least not yet. And walking these streets feel like stepping into a timeline that's still unfolding, one mural, one poem, one protest at a time. And just a few stops further down the light rail, the rhythm shifts again, slower, deeper, and grounded. In Otorlo, families play on the playground, kids race home from school with their soccer cleats on their shoulder. A corner spot on MLK Jr. Way serves Vietnamese iced coffee through a walk-up window, and behind it, a new wellness clinic is opening as part of Otorlo's redevelopment, funded not by corporations, but by the community. Here, the public art isn't curated, it's painted overnight, bold and urgent. You don't move to Ortolo for the scene. You move there for the strength and the food and the faith, the feeling that something is being built that you're invited in. These aren't neighborhoods you breeze through. They grab you. They ask you to slow down, look closer, engage. And in a city that's constantly reinventing itself, they're holding the line on things that are real. So let me ask you, do you want to be part of something alive, something layered? Now, maybe you're nodding along, but also thinking, wow, I still want a driveway. I still want a block where I actually know my neighbors. I want the kind of place where I can raise my family without sacrificing the vibe. Don't worry, I got you covered. When you picture home, you might not be thinking about rooftop or zoning. You're picturing the stuff that sticks, the smell of fresh grass after soccer practice, someone handing you a pie just because you moved in, the sound of your kid's soccer scooter zipping past every single tree. That's what these neighborhoods offer, not just real estate, real life. Take a slow drive through Magnolia and you'll notice it doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't have to. On Sunday morning, Discovery Park hums with joggers, toddlers in rubber boots, and parents pointing out bald eagles. It's not a nature perk. It's how the neighborhood lives. A few blocks in, someone's picking up groceries at Met Market. Someone else is walking home from Pete's Bakery. They're trying to balance the two, the croissants and the juice box. Families meet at Magnolia Playfield for t-ball, and by evening, kids are catching bugs while their parents chat over Nico's Euros. It's not flashy, but it's grounded. Like the entire neighborhood agreed to keep it simple and warm and just a little old school. Head southeast and things get louder in the best way. Beacon Hill leans into the community heartbeat with the rhythm that both grounded and global. Jefferson Park isn't just a green space, it's a shared backyard. You know that feeling when your morning starts smooth, coffee's hot, skies gray in that classic Seattle way, and the train glides in exactly on time. That rhythm isn't luck, it's where you live. And in this city where bridges stall, I-5 can feel like molasses, and it can make the difference between stress and sanity, and it comes down to your zip code. You feel it the second you walk out of the building at Northgate. The sidewalks are still damp from the 6 a.m. drizzle. The air smells like concrete and fir trees, and the train glides into the station so smooth you barely notice. That's your cue. Your downtown commute is 14 minutes, no traffic, no stress, no gambling with I-5, and believe me, it can make a huge difference. You may pass a new rooftop soccer field where cracking kids are running drills, and you wave at the same person playing music every Tuesday. And yeah, it's transit, but it's a ritual. Further south in Mount Baker, the commute feels like the neighborhood handshake. You got Franklin High School's bell ringing in the background, kids filing into Coleman Playground before school. You have parents walking dogs in one hand, checking the link schedule with the other. I moved here myself, and believe me, I have not regretted it. I love this city. It's not about convenience, it's about integration. You don't just live here, you flow with it. Roosevelt doesn't shout, but it's got everything dialed in so tight, you barely realize how easy life feels until you're living it. You can grab a bagel from any coffee shop, Roosevelt High School, and you slide into the train that just showed up like it read your mind. The exit lands you next to a mural, a bike rack, and probably someone outside of Whole Foods playing music for donation. It's transit, but it's also texture. Life is rhythm. This is the kind of city where the wrong commute can wreck your whole vibe, but the right one, it gives you space to breathe, to think, to show up to your day a little more like yourself. What would life look like with one less hour in traffic every day? Seriously, what would you trade your commute for? more time at the park, hot dinners at home, or maybe just a little quiet before the chaos. Still, there's more to the story than smooth rides and short lines, because the next set of neighborhoods, they're not just built to move, they're built to matter. And if you're looking for a place that's welcome, reflect, and evaluate who you are, that is exactly where we're going next. You've only got 48 hours in the city, just a weekend to figure out if Seattle could actually be home, not someday, but now. Your lease, think about it, is up in Chicago in 6 weeks. Your job is remote, but the people you care about are all migrating to the West. So here you are, coffee in one hand, save listings in the other, and the hope that one of these listings might feel like home, not just numbers. So your first stop, Greenwood, early in the morning, fog clings to the sidewalk as you approach the cedar-sided duplex just off 85th, built in 2024 by Green Canopy Nod. It's got all the right buzzwords: solar ready, triple panel, net zero curious, inside 950 square feet of polished concrete engineered charm, listed for $749,000. You nod, you're impressed, but you back out the narrow driveway shared with 3 other units, and then you realize the dream of a backyard barbecue might need to be swiped for a rooftop planter box. Density feels great until you're hitting elbows with someone else's lifestyle. You shake it off, you head over to Fremont for your rental backup, a 600 square feet duplex on North 39th, 2 blocks from Bridge Cafe Company. It's $21.50 a month. There's no open house, just a locked door and a laminated sign saying, "Email us your story." So you sit on a bench, you write about your dog, the way he chases the shadows near the rain gardens. You send it. No spreadsheet, no pay stub, just hope and a hyperlink. And it hits you. In 2026, the warmest lease offer may not be the highest one. Sometimes later, you travel over to Artillo, you walk into a condo, you can't stop refreshing online. It's 2 bedrooms, $489,000, EV-ready garage, 5 minutes from the link station. It's perfect until the agent hands you the HOA packet. There's a $14,000 assessment due next quarter. You smile politely inside, doing the panicking in your head. They aren't homes anymore, they're puzzles, and missing one piece can break the picture. Your last stop is a 1920s bungalow in West Seattle. It has the porch, the tree swing, even a tiny detached studio that screams Airbnb hustle. You already picture the listing, but then the agent lowers their voice. Short-term rentals here off the table. No rules say unless you've lived here since 2023, you can't host. Not weekends, not holidays, nothing. And just like that, that plan's unraveled. You sit in your car, 4 homes, 4 different truths, none of them wrong, just complicated. So if you're planning a move here, know this: 2026 isn't the year of perfect. It's the year of smart trade-offs. Ask about zoning shifts, read every HOA page, and if you're renting, write your story like somebody's actually going to read it, because they will. And after all that, maybe the real question isn't where you'll live, it's who's already living there and whether they're building something you want to be part of. A few months ago, I was walking through a Craftsman home in Columbia City with a client. She was a single mom who had just relocated from Georgia. She paused in the backyard, looked at the tiny fig tree near the fence, and whispered to me, "This feels like someplace I could actually stop holding my breath." It wasn't the biggest house. It didn't have marble counters or a smart fridge, but it had light. It had neighbors who already waved. It was 3 blocks from the community center that offered after-school care, drum lessons, exactly what her son had been dreaming about. So we got the house, we wrote the right offer, got the inspection, and we closed in 30 days. But the win wasn't the paperwork. It was her saying, This doesn't just feel like a place. This feels like I belong. That was huge. This is what I want for you. So if this video lit a spark, if you saw a street, a rhythm, or a view that you thought, gosh, that could be me, and you're probably right, reach out. My real estate team and I are ready to help. No pressure, no push, just a plan that gets you closer to what feels right. And if you're still in the discovery phase, don't stop here. Click the playlist on the screen where we break down the best Seattle neighborhoods, how they really live, and who they're actually built for. This is your shortcut to clarity and maybe even a starting line for something real. I am so glad you spent this time with me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.